If you bought a ticket for under $100 for the Paul McCartney concert, good for you. Online sales were so brisk, it was mere minutes before only the most expensive ones were left. So I got a good question from Carol, who was a little frustrated by the experience because she was online and ready to buy her tickets but got stuck in a virtual queue and missed out. So she wanted to know, how is it physically possible to sell thousands of tickets online in mere minutes?
Paul McCartney's August concert in Missoula will be the biggest stadium show in Montana history. More people will attend that show than the Rolling Stones back in 2006.
There are 4 methods of delivery for purchasing tickets: online, on the phone, through the outlets, and the GrizTix box office. The tour itself decides on an allocation for the outlets and the GrizTix box office, and then everything else is available online or through the phone. And it's common for tours to hold tickets for fan club pre-sales and then release tickets at later dates depending on demand as the concert gets closer. There's a company in Irvine, California that's the ticketing system for GrizTix. They monitor the large online sales and attempt to block computer access to those programs that try to buy large numbers of tickets with the intent of putting them on the resale market.
There's bots and there's spiders out there. Those are special machines that secondary markets have developed that can get into your site faster than what a person can on just a regular computer can. They get in faster. It's just that millisecond quicker than what you can on a computer. And so we try to guard against those as many as we can. And there were a lot of those for this show, a lot. We're savvy. They know that these tickets are going to go fast and that people really want to go. So, it brings out capitalism, kind of some good and some bad of it.
Some people were able to buy their tickets ahead of time in a pre-sale. Those who signed up to be a fan on Paul McCartney's page, those signed up to get GrizTix emails had a pre-sale opportunity too. Some advice to get the hottest ticket in town?
One would be join the fan club. The second one would be a member of GrizTix and sign up for our emails that notify you of upcoming concerts. And the third one is to get online just as soon as you can or get in line because I think we're doing a really good job of holding tickets for our outlets now. And everyone who stood in line for Paul McCartney got a ticket.
Hey, everybody out there!
And actually, more tickets in all price ranges were released on Monday. You should call GrizTix or check their webpage, Facebook, and Twitter accounts for more information because more tickets could be available as we get closer to the concert.
Sir Paul McCartney brings his Out There tour to Missoula and Washington Grizzly Stadium tonight. And our Jill Valley is out there as well for what is called the biggest concert in Montana history. And Jill, I understand there was a Beatles sighting not that long ago.
You know what, Mike, when we arrived at the stadium, it wasn't too long before we started hearing all these police sirens. And of course, as a news person, I thought, uh-oh, something's happening. Well, what was happening was this entourage, about 5 or 6 dark-windowed SUVs start going down Campus Drive. People are going crazy. And I kid you not, they chased them, just like they probably did 50 years ago with the Beatles. Tim is here from Spokane, and he's already got his paraphernalia. We got the great Out There Paul McCartney official concert shirt. So people are, if they're not dressing up already, they're bringing stuff to take home with them to remember this.
Yeah, it is humbling to try to help your child with their homework and they tell you you're doing it wrong or you can't figure it out. There are tears and tantrums, and that's from you. Well, our good question has a good answer. What do you do when you don't understand your child's homework?
The answer, and write this down, homeworkmontana.com, a free online tutoring service for kindergarten through grad school with a live person on the other end.
OPI and the Montana State Legislature in 2011 funded this program so that all Montana citizens can have free tutoring here in the state. So it's statewide.
2 words, free tutoring. You sign up for an account at your school library or your public library and get help in all topics, in all grade levels. In this case, Raquel is asking a question about dividing decimals. The program finds the best tutor for this 5th grade math problem and then works it out with the student.
It looks over my paper and tells me, and I say, are all these problems right? And then she will look over them, and if I got some problems wrong, she will go over it with me.
If your student goes on with a math problem, they're not going to get the tutor's not just going to give them the answer and be done. They're going to walk them through similar problems to try to help them see how to do it, and then even walk them through the problem they have a question with, and then even ask, do you have any more that you want me to help you with?
The tutors are teachers or college students. They can use a whiteboard to work on a problem with the student, and it's real-time text, and it helps parents who don't get the new ways of teaching that math.
A lot of parents, they haven't been in school for a long time, and not that the topics change, but how teachers teach to get those topics taught isn't necessarily the same.
It's online Sunday through Thursday from 2 until 9 o'clock at night. And when your student is finished, parents will get an emailed transcript of what they discussed. And if you're an adult going back to school, this site is for you too.
And it's kindergarten through graduate school, so people can help edit papers, people can help with citations, anything topic level. So it's any range of person that needs help academically.
Thanks, Mike. Talk about strength and numbers for the honeybee. 152 colonies are on their way to new homes today, and a big reason, the beekeeping certification program through the University of Montana. That's pretty sweet.
They arrived from California, but these honeybees, more than 2 million of them, are putting down roots in western Montana. And today out at Fort Missoula, those who are experienced beekeepers and those who just want to try it out are getting started by picking up their colonies and their queens.
The bees are actually the most fascinating insect out there, I think. And the first year, I couldn't believe how I hadn't known any of this my whole life.
Jaylene Naylor is the vice president of the Beekeepers of the Bitterroot. Once she gets home today, she'll feed her colonies with sugar water until the spring and summer flowers bloom and the bees can feed themselves.
It's a nice, expensive hobby.
I heard that, yeah.
But last year we got 10 gallons of honey, which was great, and we shared it with friends, and that's really more of what I enjoy about it.
The beekeepers are helping to rebuild the nation's honeybee populations that have suffered massive losses through colony collapse disorder.
A few years ago, when we go up to Polson and pick up the packages brought from California, we might have a handful of people here. You saw the crowd today. That gives you just some idea. Now imagine that happening in every town in the country, which is more or less what's happening. So yes, there are higher losses of bees for a variety of reasons, but what's not coming out of all this is there's a whole lot more beekeepers nowadays. And so they're not factored into the statistics, and that's the really good news. People have rediscovered bees.
Now, CAPAX gets this great opportunity to adopt one of the colonies. So we're going to be checking in on the bees throughout the summer, watching their progress as they make honey. Then in the fall, we'll have it harvested and then sell it with the money going to a local charity.
And as we watch and learn how these bees work, Noah Jackson will be too. He's beekeeping for the first time and is eager to learn how to nurture a productive colony.
Our biggest fear is actually losing them. We consider bees like our livestock, like our chickens, like our sheep, anything to happen to them. So I'm here to glean whatever knowledge I can.
There are over 100 people there today. It was really popular, and our queen is laying eggs, and in about 4 weeks we'll be new parents. Mike, I know you're excited. We'll be keeping tabs on her progress and the emerging beekeeping industry here in western Montana. You know, Bozeman has added fluoride to its community water system since 1953, although recently there was a campaign by anti-fluoride groups to end that practice. Billings voters said no way, and recently in Portland, Oregon, voters said no too. Is a state law which our county attorney says is very specific. It outlines who can solemnize a wedding in Montana. But there's one line in that statute that had us wondering. So tonight's good question, who can legally officiate a wedding in Montana?
Right, so I did the Jerry Lewis telethon for 20 years, so I know all about Lou Gehrig's disease and ALS. So obviously when the Ice Bucket Challenge started, I thought it's a good idea, especially if you donate to alsaid.org when you're done.
And I'm going to challenge Bob Hermes, our general manager, and the morning team of Courtney Ferguson and Justine Dutch to do the same.
All right, well, I'm going to challenge two people who are right here. Dennis Sprague over to my left off camera. Good job, Dennis. Bryn Merkley's going to get it. And then also Brenda Bassett, another one of our reporters. So
That's right.
I'm not worried about the ice and the cold. I'm more worried about what was in these buckets because we grabbed them from in the newsroom and they're kind of grody. And
Something was floating.
something was definitely floating.
And when this all started with Dan Semino
Yeah.
and Aaron Yost and
Russ.
And so we're kind of the last of the bunch here. So
All right.
we better do this. Good luck.
Do you have your waterproof mascara on?
No, I don't.
I
as a
don't
matter of
either,
fact, I'm
so-
taking off my glasses.
All right, Aaron.
All right, you're gonna.
All right.
I need a ladder for Jill.
I'll help
Are you
you.
ready?
No, here we go.
Ready?
Better go, guys.
Yay!
Missoula losing its school superintendent will tell you why some board members probably weren't that surprised. Prosecutors say they caught a suspect they believe was the one exposing himself to young girls around Missoula. And hundreds say farewell to a young man who already made a huge impact during his short life.
Fair, accurate, to the point. The 10 o'clock news starts right now.
Good evening, I'm Jill Valley. Mike Powers is off tonight. Missoula County Public School Superintendent Alex Apostle announced his resignation today. He is taking a new job as school superintendent with the Shelton Washington School District. He told the school board earlier this year he would not be seeking a new contract when his current one expires next year.
There's a beginning and an end to everything. And I have come to the conclusion that I have taken the district to a point where it's ready for somebody else to step in and take it from here. You know, I'm at the point in my life where the end would have come sooner or later. And I just mentioned to the board that I did not want to extend my contract. That came from me, not from anybody else.
Dr. Apostle says he told the school board president he applied for the Shelton job about a month ago and was actually offered that job last night. He says Missoula County Public Schools in a good situation, even as they face hiring a new superintendent and face an upcoming levy.
The system dictates who's going to be on the board and who the next superintendent's going to be, because the system will say, this is where we're going. How do you mesh with the direction that we're going? You're not going to hire somebody, you're not going to vote on a trustee that doesn't support the specific vision of this school system. That's a great system when it's not personality beholden.
Apostle will stay on the job through the end of this school year. He begins his new job on July 1st. Also, the Whitefish School District is looking for a new superintendent after word Kate Orozco is resigning. She made that announcement today. Orozco's been on the job in Whitefish for 4 years and will stay on through the school year. She and her husband want to move closer to family. A Missoula man in serious condition tonight with burns and smoke inhalation after a fire in an alley on Idaho Street. Missoula Police Sergeant James Caton says a man was using his fire pit around 6 o'clock tonight when a piece of plastic flew into the flames and caught fire, and then that set a nearby motorhome and a car on fire. The bystanders tried to push the burning car out of the way. The fire did some damage to the structure anyway. Neighbors rushed to the scene with hoses trying to help. In all, 12 firefighters, 3 engines, and a ladder truck were all there. They knocked down the bulk of the fire quickly. The homeowner taken to the hospital with those injuries. The fire still under investigation. An older man was seriously hurt tonight when he hit a deer while riding his motorcycle on Highway 200. The deer killed on impact. The driver rushed to St. Patrick Hospital via helicopter. It all happened around 6:30 tonight, blocking traffic flow in the area. The Highway Patrol did not release the man's name. Well, welcome to the first day of spring. We do have spring rain in our forecast for the weekend, wouldn't you know? Here's Chief Meteorologist Erin Yost. She has our first forecast now. Erin.